It's Movie Day. I'm Ray Love Jr.
And I'm Tre'vell Anderson.
And we are Seated, the blackest show about movies.
Yes, this is our very first episode. We've been working on this for a little minute in the background.
Yes.
But we're so excited for you all to be joining us on this journey with Seated.
This is an idea that, because, you know, I am what some may say a avid moviegoer or a movie obsessive.
You go like 3 times a week to three different movies a week.
I go as many times as I can using my subscription.
Your AMC, whatever it's called, AMC Stubs.
And as you know, there are periods of the year where there aren't even 3 movies out in a week. So
Yes.
I go as often as I can, given time and, you know, work commitments in life. But like, it is my place of comfort, my place of joy, my place of just like being able to be in a space that doesn't require me to use my brain and like enter the world of someone else for an hour or two.
And now look at you deciding to use your brain to do a whole podcast where we're going to be reviewing movies.
Yes.
You know, that primarily movies that are in theaters, but I'm sure a streaming picture will find its way in there because that's my particular vibe of choice. And so I'm really excited. We thought that for our very first episode, so that you all listening and watching out there can get to know a little bit about us, that we'd start off with this kind of, you know, round robin, rapid fire Q&A situation so you can get to know a little bit about our movie viewing and critical sensibilities. Okay, so we got some little questions or whatever that we're going to ask each other, right?
I feel like we should start off with what we both think is the best movie of 2025 so far, because I think that is probably our intersection in taste.
Our one intersection in taste.
Yes. And for me, it is absolutely the movie Sinners.
Yes, absolutely. Agreed.
That came out top of year, April was when it released. And
who knows,
out of all the movies I've seen this year, nothing has really excited me the way that it has and like really stuck the way that Sinners has. So I'm going to go with Sinners for best of 2025.
Yeah, I mean, there's no conversation yet, right? I don't know what else we will watch. Maybe some of the films that we will preview later will, you know, knock it out of that spot. But, you know, Ryan Coogler's Sinners, Michael B. Jordan's performance, Wound Me. No one's talking enough about Wound Me for me personally. Delroy Lindo, come on, let's stop playing. So definitely centers. Centers.
We can censor Sinners, but hey, yes.
Okay. So that's our, you know, favorite best movie of 2025 thus far. What is your favorite movie of all time? Or if you're like me and you can't just choose one, then do, you know, a quick little few.
Yeah, I'm definitely not able to choose one like overall favorite movie of all time, but I will say the movie that has kind of awakened me in a way where I really saw myself on screen and related to the characters, the setting, the themes in the movie was 2016's Moonlight?
Oh, Moonlight, okay.
Yes. I'm from Miami. I'm from Carol City to be exact, and it was set in Miami. The auteur or the writer of the film, Terrell Avon McCraney, and Barry Jenkins are both folks who are from Miami, and that is the first movie I looked at with, like, I guess a critical lens that made me really get into what themes are in movies and what structure is, and also just like cinematography, because he did some really interesting things camera-wise there that I see filmmakers today repeating.
Yeah.
So for me, it's Moonlight.
Yeah. Okay, that's cute. Yeah. I don't know. I feel a little predictable, but I'll let you get away with that. I'm gonna go a little bit offbeat, okay? And this is not necessarily a particularly what they call it, prestige choice. And I'm gonna say that my favorite movie of all time is Sister Act 2.
Okay. I mean, I can get with that.
Okay, which is also simultaneously probably the best sequel ever made.
We can talk sequels for sure.
Okay, and we will, I'm sure.
I think it is better than. I think Sister Act 2 is better than Sister Act 1, the original.
Well, yeah, that's my point. Yeah. Like, which, you know, sequels are not usually better than the first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's always something that makes you go like Miss Congeniality 1, Miss Congeniality 2.
Yeah.
The first one's better.
Yeah.
No shade to Regina King.
Yeah.
The legend.
You're right
in the
about
second one, okay?
I think it's interesting that both of our favorite films of all time are Black films. And
wow,
this show isn't exactly a Black film show. so.
Well.
But it's a great time to mention that we are talking about first-run films, and that runs the spectrum of black, white, all in between. So don't expect us to just talk about black films, but those are our favorites because...
Because we is who we is, okay? But we watch the white people stuff too, and then also the other cultures.
Yes.
Because they are more than just black and white. One more, maybe a couple more quick fire. I want to know an actor or actress that you are always seated for. So no matter what day in, you gonna be. I mean, I know you gonna be in the seat regardless. Yeah. You don't care who it is, but
I'm a cheap sale.
Who's gonna bring you out regardless?
As one of the greats once said, she brings it to you at every ball, and for me, that person is he's also in Moonlight.
Okay.
I guess it's that coincidental. Anyway, it's Andre Holland for me. You know, I think he is someone who is a doe-eyed actor that is easy on the eyes and also does something interesting on screen every time I see him. He's had actually like 2 or 3 movies come out this year alone. And so he's a working actor that gives you something to like look forward to too. So what about you? Who's your go-to girl or guy?
My go-to, it's all about the ladies over here. So I'm going to go with, so my favorite actress is Queen Latifah. I don't want to talk about it. Okay. That's my favorite actress. But the person who I'm going to select for this question, in terms of somebody who I'm always seated for, I'm going to fuck you up with this one. I know I am. Jessica Chastain.
Oh.
You know what? That white woman. Mm-hmm. Oh, you don't like the acting? Come on. The Help.
We ain't even gonna go into
Mrs. Sloan.
My most recent memory of Jessica Chastain's on-screen performance is in the film The 225. Did you watch that one?
Oh, sure. With all of the ladies, Lupita's in that one, and all of the people.
She was supposed to be playing a.
Well, that's a bad movie.
It's a bad movie, but also like I think what she gave to the character wasn't convincing, and I think that says a lot about performance because I didn't believe her as a strong, combative spy woman, and she just felt like a meek white woman in that film, and it didn't rise to the occasion. So I can't say that I love her acting, but I'm gonna let you have your favorite thing. So what is your favorite performance of hers that calls you to say,
I think she's great in The Help. I think she's great in Mrs. Sloan. I think she's great in Molly's Game.
That was a good movie.
Opposite Idris Elba. Okay. She's in Zero Dark 30 as well. I didn't really particularly care for that film or Interstellar personally, but I know other people, like that. She's just, anytime she's in something, I'm just like, I'll see. I'll check it out.
Okay, well, I'll add her to my radar.
I just wanted to also say something different, okay? Because you just made the point about this not being specifically about black stuff. So I wanted to, throw a little razzle dazzle.
I will say that I hope to see your girl Queen Latifah in something soon too. But I don't think anything's on the calendar. But anyway,
well, she's taking her time because when you a legend, you can do that, and you should do that.
Fair. Speaking of doing that in legends, do you have a writer or director's career that you're keeping an eye out for or following or looking forward to seeing kind of how they build out their works?
I'm particularly, I want to see newer folks get their first chance. These all of the independent folks, those creators who are, maybe you're in a writer's room right now, or you want to be in a writer's room, but you have this really unique idea. I want to see more of those folks' content. I'm thinking of Mike Guayo. I'm thinking of James. What's James's last name?
Rogers?
James. On The Shot.
Yes,
Rogers, James Rogers. Yeah. I know that they've been working on some independent stuff. I know that Dr. John Paul, a friend of mine, has been doing and trying to work on some really interesting things at the intersection of genre. Okay. And so, I want to see new stuff, particularly in this socio-political moment where the role of the artist
You're right about
in particular will be super important. Now, and then in terms of of a name that people, might know, I will say I'm really interested in what. Who do I want to give some shine? Regina King as a director.
Okay.
I will highlight Regina King as a director. Obviously, she gave us her first film, which was Once Upon a Time in Miami, One Night in Miami.
One Night in Miami.
One Night in Miami. I can't recall if she's done anything since. But
Yeah.
she's a legend in and of herself, and I wanna hear and see more of whatever she chooses to do.
I'm with it.
Who's your highlight person?
So I love that you highlighted, rising voices.
Yeah.
And I think my initial response to this is going to be someone who has given us a catalog of really great films that have performed well. And that person is Ryan Coogler. Like Sinners, his favorite movie of the year.
Yes.
Black Panther, Creed, his first film, Fruitvale Station. Great works. However, it made me think, I really am interested in seeing new voices rise. And we got a film from a director this year that I thought was interesting. And I was like, I wonder what he would do with other things.
Okay.
And that director is Mark Anthony Green, who directed Opus, which is a divisive film.
Yes.
Like, some folks love it and many folks hate it. But I'm curious to see what else he has to offer the cinematic space. So
Mark Anthony Green, who is a former journalist, if I'm not mistaken. I believe he's also a Morehouse man, if I'm not mistaken. So, shout out to the family. Hey. I also wanted to shout out another movie that came out earlier this year, the writer-director of, I think you had mixed feelings on this film, but Sorry Baby. Written and directed by, what is that beloved's name?
Ava Victor.
I enjoyed that film in a really interesting way. And it made me think of, being interested in what other things that they, have in mind for how to approach Sure.
There's room to grow. I'll say that much.
There's absolutely room to definitely grow. Okay, y'all, we are going to take a quick little break. Yeah. And when we come back, we're going to get into our fall movie preview.
Yes, so grab a snack and come on back. Welcome back to Seated. All right. Well, we are here to, I guess, give you a primer for what's ahead this season. As we both know, well, as for me, it's the most wonderful time of the year as October hits and we start getting all of those festival films that hit the circuit, and just a lot more interesting movies that typically compete in the Academy Awards are usually released in this time. And so we're going to share just some of the films that we're looking forward to. So let's start with you. What's your first pick for this fall season?
Can I just say I hate the fall season movie. Really? It's just too much. It's too much. It's too much coming. There's 12 things coming out at the box office every single week, because everyone is trying to intentionally like cross program other things, and then it's all of the awards conversation. Anyway, okay, so yes, we're going to highlight, I think we've identified 6 films that are coming down the line that we want to talk about. And one of the first ones is After the Hunt, which is currently in the news right now for some conversation, which we, might get into. But this is a film directed by Luca Guadagnino. It comes out October 17th. It stars Julia Roberts, Andrew Garfield, Ayo Edebiri, Chloe Sevigny, and Michael Stuhlbarg, excuse me. Now, this, I will read the log line. It says, a college professor finds herself at a personal and professional crossroads when a star pupil levels an accusation against one of her colleagues and a dark secret from her own past threatens to come to light. Now, don't that sound like Sorry Baby just a little bit? You don't see it?
It does. It's pretty squarely kind of the same premise.
You know what I mean? I feel like I was reading the log line for Sorry Baby. Anyway, this film is currently in the news, I mentioned, because it's been doing its international festival situation. And it was this journalist who asked a question that I now understand to be related to the film in topic, right? About apparently from her vantage point, the end of Me Too and Black Lives Matter. And she asked the two white people in the group,
specifically
Julia,
the white people.
Specifically, Julia, Andrew, and Ayo's in the group, but she directed the question to Julia and Andrew. And it's, created all this discourse online about, racism, problematic stuff, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I think this is definitely a project that, even just off the cast alone, it's like, oh, yeah. Because Julia's one of those other white women that I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
Let me check it out.
Yeah, for me, my point of interest is specifically with Ayo because I'm interested in seeing how she builds her film performance catalog. This will be her second film after Opus.
Yeah, I think so.
And so, I'm really interested in seeing how she holds that space versus what we know her for on The Bear.
Yeah.
That's kind of why I'm excited about that. Anything else you wanted to add?
I did just want to note that Ayo has been in a few other movies, but she's been supporting.
Right,
she was in Bottoms.
Yes.
She's done voice acting in a couple things, which obviously is different. But yeah, so absolutely looking forward to whatever she gives us. I do want to note, just at this current time, at the time of recording, the Rotten Tomatoes score of this film is 49%. And obviously this is just critics who have seen it, at these international film festivals primarily. I wasn't able to find a Black critic who has written on it yet.
Okay.
Obviously it's a few weeks before it comes out, but I did want to highlight this line from Kenji Fujishima at Slant Magazine. And they said, quote, "While its desire to question absolutes is admirable, there's a hollowness at the film's core that prevents it from having a more pointed impact beyond surface provocation."
That's interesting because that is kind of how I felt about
Screaming.
Sorry Baby.
Screaming.
That's almost precisely how I felt about Sorry Baby.
Screaming.
So we're gonna see about this one.
I'm interested in that one for sure.
Yeah, nice. All right. So I guess I can offer up our next film. And that's gonna be Hedda, which will be hitting theaters October 22nd. And it's directed by Nia DaCosta, who I know being the director of Candyman. Remember that remake?
She did Candyman. She did this indie movie, Little Woods.
Little Woods, yes.
That's what it's called?
Yeah.
Little Woods. And she did something else. Didn't she, like a Captain Marvel or something?
She did The
like
Marvels.
That? The Marvels. That's what it was. Okay.
So that's exciting. She is a Black film director, which I'm really excited to see. She's doing this film with Tessa Thompson, which is, I believe Tessa was in Little Woods, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so it's nice to see, a director reunite with an actress in this way, similar to how Ryan Coogler continuously does films with Michael B. Jordan.
Michael, yeah.
So maybe this is a nice new marriage coming. But a little bit about Hedda. So its synopsis reads, Henrik Ibsen's renowned stage drama from 1891 is reimagined in an epic and emotional way. That's
which tells you nothing.
Right. I'm like, that's all we get. I guess it assumes that you're familiar with Henrik Ibsen's stage drama, which I'm not. Are you at all?
No. But I have seen this movie already.
Oh, okay. So
I screened it early. The studio reached out to me to, give them some feedback. I'm not gonna spoil my opinion.
Okay, I was gonna say, because sometimes they hit us with embargoes.
Exactly.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm not gonna spoil my opinion. I do believe the embargo has been lifted, but I'm not gonna spoil my opinion because we're gonna cover it on the show the week it comes out. What I will say is that the general lack of knowing that you have after reading that log line may or may not be how I felt leaving the theater. And I will leave it at that.
Okay.
However, Tell the people about the Rotten Tomatoes score, because I think that's important at this point.
So currently it has an 83% on Rotten Tomatoes, which, as you mentioned, this is just critics. And, you know, critics can be the toughest on film. So it's interesting that critics have been enjoying this. So we gonna see.
Yeah.
And the Hollywood Reporter has a review from Jordan Searles.
Yes.
And it, quote, says, Hedda is a delightful, sexy ride that reminds us that Thompson is a star and DaCosta has many more tricks up her sleeve. It's good to hear her unique narrative voice again. So it's hopeful.
It is hopeful.
Oh, you have some skepticism about this.
No, we're gonna save it to that episode, because I have some things that I really enjoyed about the film, and then some other things that I have some preguntas about.
All right, when we get to it, we're gonna really get into it. Give us our next movie coming down the pipe.
Okay, now I really want to see this.
Okay,
and this might be against type for me, but it's called The Smashing Machine. It comes out October 3rd. This is written, directed, and co-produced, etc., by Benny Safdie, who is, you know, one of the
Safdie brothers.
Yeah, it's the Safdie brothers. Yeah. But the star of this movie is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Okay, the movie it's a biopic.
Okay,
and it's a biopic about this mixed martial arts and UFC champion by the name of Mark Kerr.
Are you familiar with him?
No, I'm not familiar with him, but I did look up, and he himself, the real guy, is of I believe I saw Puerto Rican and some kind of white ancestry. And so shout out to Dwayne for
I guess his
acting
ambiguity in looks helps with this casting.
Very. Yes.
Okay. So tell me more about what this is supposed to be about, if you have any additional context.
It's a biopic, right? But it's also kind of the broader narrative around this movie is that, I don't know if you've seen the trailer or not, but that it's a different kind of acting for Dwayne Johnson. Okay, this is not Central Intelligence with Kevin Hart.
So this is his Oscar play, is what you're saying.
Well, he's trying. He's even from the trailer. You know, he's trying to act.
Yeah.
He gained all of this weight. He does not really look like himself.
You know, that's what they always do when they're going for the Oscar.
Well, I think this is also a great opportunity for Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I'm sure he sees himself as, you know, as an actor.
The way you are saying his name is sending me.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson?
Yes. Because it has that twang that Whitley Gilbert from...
I have been rewatching
yes. Okay.
A Different World. Yes, I have.
Okay.
Dwayne "The Rock"
I'm with
Johnson.
it. I feel it.
And so, but this is, you know, he's been in this industry for a little minute. He's actually, you know... he brings in a lot of money at the box office. You might be surprised to think. I'm also reminded in this moment of how he was featured in that Apple TV docuseries about number one on the call sheet. About black people who found themselves as number one on the call sheet. And so you can look at his career and see how this role is different completely. And so, yes, maybe it's his Oscar play, or maybe it's just his play to try to show the industry that, like, hey, I does this for real, for real.
I mean, it's interesting that he's pivoting into wanting to be taken seriously, considering that, like, his tastes have really just been in finding movies that sell. Which I think a big bruise to his ego was how Black Adam performed, which is supposed to be his entree into superhero movies. But I didn't think it was that bad. But also, his performance wasn't calling for much.
But also, aren't we tired of maybe we're not. We were just speaking for myself. Aren't we tired of the, you know, super athletic, super fit person who all they do is that?
Yeah.
And so, like, there is in this role, I will note, it is a physical role. He does make a transformation, does require him to use his body in the ways that you've noted that so many other folks, do and gain some sort of industry cred. Yeah. But it just seems really interesting to me. Currently, the Rotten Tomato score is 76%.
Oh, trending up.
So
okay.
not too bad. And I did want to highlight this quote from The Wrap, where the person said, it's not, quote, Steve Pond, it's not one of those triumphant sports movies we're all tired of, but it's not wrong to say that there is some triumph here.
Okay, sure.
And so you don't want or care about Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
I don't know. You asked about the trailer earlier, and I've passively seen it because I'm someone who tries to avoid trailers today because trailers are not great. And every time I see it pop up, I'm just like, all right, let's see what dramatic pivot he's making in this movie. I mean, again, to the point about changing appearance. Yeah. Actors either put on a nose, lose or gain weight, do something.
A fat suit.
Yeah, to make people be like, oh, look at all you did to be deserving of Academy recognition. So I haven't been excited about this, but I'm interested. So, we're going to see it.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see what he gives us. Okay, our next movie that we're going to highlight is Eternity. Tell the people about Eternity.
So Eternity essentially is going to be A24's, I think, their next release. And that is my point of interest. A24, they have hits, they have misses, but they always have something interesting. And so that's why I'm looking forward to this film. But it stars Miles Teller. It also has Elizabeth Olsen and Callum Turner in it. And the synopsis reads, in an afterlife where souls have 1 week to decide where to spend eternity, Joan is faced with the impossible choice between the man she spent her life with and her first love, who died young and has awaited decades for her to arrive. Now, this film comes out November 26th, which is, I believe, also the same window as Thanksgiving. So it'll be an interesting play, I think. But yeah, I'm interested because it's A24, and also Elizabeth Olsen does some interesting things. So,
What did you think of the trailer? Have you seen the trailer?
I have, as I said, I try to avoid trailers as much as possible because they give away too much of the movie. So this
You think so? A good trailer does not.
I think because I watch so many movies, I'm able to easily identify moments that are critical to the story in ways that I feel like it dampens the excitement because they're trying to grab you.
So you just go to every movie.
I just go to every movie.
You just go to every.
I see who's directing. I won't say every movie because I don't lean a lot into horror thrillers, and so I typically skip those a lot. But as I said, A24, they're a trustworthy movie house that gives me an experience every time, whether I like it or I don't. So yeah.
Okay, yeah. I did see the trailer for this because I want to know what I'm getting myself into. Praise the Lord. Yeah. All right, saints. Yeah. And I thought it was cute. Okay. I thought it was a cute trailer. I said, oh, yes, I want to see this with the redheaded lady in the middle of this situation. This seems so interesting to me.
The folks on Rotten Tomatoes agree because it currently sits at an 88% rating. So that's hopeful. We gonna see.
It is.
One of the early reviews of the film comes from Robert Daniels over at Screen Daily. And he, quote, says, a high-concept romantic fantasy with a saccharine soul. David Frayn's Eternity posits an afterlife that's more like buying a permanent timeshare than heaven or hell. So, it sounds hopeful.
That sounds very middle of the road. I like Robert as a critic. Shout out to the Black critics. They freelance for a variety of places. But okay, Eternity, November 26th. I'm going to be looking forward to that, particularly because you mentioned it's the Thanksgiving week. So I'm certain that it probably is some sort of cross-programming. I'm going to say against our next film and our final film that we will highlight, which comes out the week before currently, which is the one, the only, Wicked for Good.
Sorry!
Dang, you almost was there. You almost was there. You almost was there.
That's my birthday movie this year. So,
Wicked for Good. Oh, right. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Well, I love that for you.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
I love that for you. Yeah. So, Wicked for Good comes out November 21st. It's the sequel to Wicked, which came out last year. Y'all all remember the pink and green, I'm sure. Okay. Shout out to the K's. Directed by John M. Chu. Okay. Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo are our leads. And you know what? You could just go and put that right on in here. Ooh, you can put that in my veins.
Not
I'm
you
ready.
Over here freebasing, but anyway. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really grateful that we don't have to wait years between, its first installment and the next, because as you know, sequels can sometimes take 3 years, but they filmed this all, I believe, in the same
all at once.
Yeah. So it works for me. I'm excited, Wicked, why not?
I'm a musical girly.
It was my first musical I've ever saw on Broadway. So Wicked is kind of special for me. I will say I was hella skeptical about that first one because I'm like, one, why is it being split into 2 movies?
Right.
Also, this is a stage musical that I had a hard time imagining them doing a film with, but they deliver. This was definitely one of my favorite movies from last year. So the sequel has to deliver too.
It was great. I've never seen the stage show. I have since the last movie, I have seen a bootleg copy of the stage show on the YouTube that I'm not supposed to talk about because I guess you know how people be bootlegging this stuff and they got them all under fake names.
I think bootleg is essential to our culture as a people because I saw a lot of films back in my day.
Especially our culture.
When they used to come into the barbershop and be selling out the little bring it back.
Listen, I remember my first time watching a Tyler Perry play was on a bootleg that we got from the man who sold them out the back of his car.
He popped that
under
trunk.
the highway.
Yes.
Okay.
Those are the days, man. Physical media means something, even if it's bootleg.
It's coming back though, so y'all better stay tuned. Yeah. Okay. But Wicked for Good. I saw the YouTube of the second half of the Broadway show, which is supposed to direct us at least toward what the second half of the film will give. Now, it does, in my estimation, from the Broadway show.
I know where you're going.
Act 1 or the beginning is better than the latter part. So I hope we have a moment. I saw that there is original Mersic as part of this sequel,
which wasn't in the first,
right? And so I'm just like, because we need, as somebody who was not familiar beyond the general iconography of some of the Mersic of the Broadway, I need the sequel movie to give me that ooh ah ah sensation and make me want to play that soundtrack for 3 months like I did last time.
Yeah, I mean that was my initial skepticism about this being split into 2 because I'm like, how do you tell a complete story in 2 films from a stage play ending where they ended the first film? So I will say that they built trust with me in the first film.
Come on, trust.
So
Come on,
trust
with the audience. Yes.
Part 2 got to give something. It got to give something, and it is tonally not as upbeat and poppy, popular, as in the first part, as the first film. Popular. But we gonna see. Maybe the new original music will give it color that the stage play doesn't have. But I highly encourage you and all the people out there, if you want to go see a Broadway show, tap into the Gershwin Theater and make that your first show or next show on Broadway because it's good. It's fun.
I seen the bootleg respectfully, and it's no shade because it's just a different.
Some things are different in person. You know how people say I'm a better experience in person. I think this musical may be better in person.
I just also want to note that the tools that the medium of film allow these creators to inject into the story, I was very taken with compared to the rendering that I saw of the Broadway show, and I was just like, oh, that's how y'all did that?
Yeah.
Because it's theater, and that's what you do.
And I think it's because you're seeing it in reverse because
Absolutely.
A similar situation to me would be I enjoyed this film, but it also has its flaws. The Color Purple. And what the last movie version did.
The remake Musical.
Yes, which, the last version was more take on the stage version of The Color Purple versus like the original Color Purple film being from the book Alice Walker's writing. But, conventions are different, and I still stand on it being different in person. But your first entree into Wicked was the visual effects that movies can provide. So fair argument.
Can I just say on that Color Purple note, because I have to.
Fantasia. Yes.
Well, yes, I did not. I wasn't even gonna bring her up. See, look at you. Look at you. Look at you. Look
That's
at
your
you.
girl, so I already know
okay,
that's
come on. That Fantasia's like not how I get in it. But I was going to mention, to this point of seeing the stage versus seeing the film rendition in that order, I was not graced with the opportunity of seeing Fantasia in the Broadway version, but I did see a regional production of The Color Purple with Frenchie. Do you remember Frenchie?
I remember Frenchie,
from American Idol back in the day.
Yeah,
Frenchie played Sophia in the regional. This is in the DC area.
Yeah.
So, but I saw that before I saw the animated movie. Not animated.
It was animated.
You're disrespectful. You're disrespectful.
It was good, but I still enjoyed it.
I enjoyed that movie too. Yeah. Hell no. Anyway, okay. We've been carrying on. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to wrap up with our Good Vibes Only segment. Welcome back to our premiere episode of Seated. Ray, we're going to get into our Good Vibes Only segment. This is our recommendation segment where we're going to leave you with some, things that you should check out, potentially related to some of the things we were discussing, but also maybe not. Ray, get the people going.
So my first thing that I'm going to recommend that's giving me good vibes, and it's fresh on the press, and it's kind of related to what we've been discussing because it is in itself a sequel, and it is Cardi B's sophomore album, Am I the Drama, which we love dramatic films, and so far I've been loving what I'm hearing, and it's giving me good vibes to go into this weekend, so that's gonna be my recommendation. Cardi B's Am I the Drama.
Okay, you know what, and I will stay with you in the absurdity of this recommendation, and I will say, we should highlight, my recommendation will be the 2019 movie that they said was Oscar worthy.
Oh, what is
okay, that also starred a one Cardiff B, okay, a one Belle Khalice, and this is 2019's Hustlers.
Oh, yes. You know what? I know they joke on it being Oscar worthy, but that was a good movie. It was a
great movie.
Yeah, we got
it
Cardi,
was a great movie. Now,
J-Lo.
do I think J-Lo? Because that's what they were saying. They were saying that J-Lo gave an Oscar-worthy performance.
I think it was one of those situations where it was this like J-Lo's first film in a while? And it was kind of, after a person's been around for a while, they think that, if they're doing a serious role, this needs to be the thing that the industry, recognizes them for. And I don't think it was an Oscar-worthy performance, but it was still a really sturdy performance for me.
Well, I will say this. I do think Hustlers is Jennifer Lopez's best acting performance. Maybe second to Selena. Okay. But that's also very particular. And you know what I mean? Like it.
You know my favorite J-Lo movie is?
Oh my God, what? Made in Manhattan, Monster-in-Law?
Love those, but no, it's Enough. Remember that one?
Ooh, now Enough.
See? I mean, I'm just saying. She popped off up in...
She did pop off in Enough. Oh, I love that movie.
Yes.
Oh my God. I haven't seen that movie in so long. But I'll just say I did really, really enjoy Hustlers, and I do think it was, of that year, it was one of the better, more entertaining films of that year. And so you all should check that out if you have not already. That will be my recommendation for this inaugural episode.
I love it. So those are the things that are giving us good vibes this week, and that's going to do it for our very first episode of Seated.
Yes.
So we will catch y'all next time, and see you at the movies.
See you at the movies.
If you enjoyed this episode, share it with a friend. If you're watching us on YouTube, give us a like and tap the subscribe button. And if you're listening, give us a 5-star rating and review us in your podcast app or wherever you're tapping in today. It'll really help folks find us as we grow. Seated is an independently funded production, and your support can help us go further. Consider becoming a card-carrying member of the Seated Movie Club at seatedshow.com/join, where we'll be bringing you more of this popcorn-worthy content, special events, and more. And how do we do all that we do? Well, you know it's not by ourselves. Our theme music was created by Buckrow and animation by Adhi, with creative consulting by Jade Fox and publicity support by House of Heralds. This week's episode was edited by Ray Love Jr. Seated is a co-production of Slayzhon and FiftyLeven Media. It's hosted and produced by Tre'vell Anderson and Ray Love Jr. and filmed on location at the WalkGood Yard. See you at the movies. Holla!